So last session we discussed about what is a constructor and so last session we discussed about what is a constructor and different types of constructors. Okay, we have seen default constructor, which is nothing but an instant constructor which doesn't have any parameter, so that it is also called as parameterless constructor. That was done in the last session, guys. You can see these examples what we did in the last session. Just I created a class called sample. In that we have a constructor called sample with the same name, and we don't have any parameters here. So after that, in the next example, we saw a student constructor, student class. In that we created a default constructor or parameterless constructor where we were initializing some values with it. Okay. So now we are going to talk about the other type of constructors called parameterized constructor, copy constructor, and so on. Okay. So let's get started with parameterized constructor. Let's go to save it as C sharp 8, the nodes I'm saving. Okay, so we're talking about types of constructors in this session. So we already did all these things, guys. So now we are talking about parameterized constructor. Okay, so let's create a class in which we will create the two constructors. Okay, so like default constructor followed by parameterized constructor. Okay, yeah. So let's switch to Visual Studio. Guys, my voice is clear.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So let's create a class called employee in which we are creating the two types of constructors. Okay. We'll be taking three data members like employee ID, name of the employee followed by salary. Like that, I'm taking three, data members, and then I'm going to create two constructors in the yeah. So let's create a new project. So the project name I'm taking as oops underscore demo 9. I'm saying click on create. So in which we are creating a class called employee, guys. In that employee, I'm creating two constructors. So the first constructor is default constructor, which is nothing but parameterless constructor. The second one is parameterized constructor. Okay, yeah. So let's see this example, guys. We are talking about now the two types of constructors, default and parameterized constructor. So we are in right now we are in a default class called program class in which we have main method. Okay, um, just for the sake of testing, I'm writing a hello world message here. Console.writeline hello world message just to run testing, and then console.read key. Of course, this is not required in the latest versions. Let's run it and see. So latest update, it is stopping automatically, guys. So you need not write console.read key. For old versions, you need to write console.read key at the end of it. So you can see this console dot hello world message, it's stopping automatically. So you can just write here console.read. Okay, yeah. So now you can see this message when you run it. Okay, so where is this? You can see here in the command prompt hello world is displayed. That's fine. So now we are moving to, I'm just removing this line hello world, and we are moving to a class called employee. So we are going to this solution explorer, right click on the project name, add, and then class. Here I'm selecting the class name, typing the class name as employee. Okay, employee, employ, like that, employee or employee you can say. So click on add employee.cs. So this is my class name employee, in which we are taking three data members, like private, integer, empid. Okay, generally private variables always proceed with underscore. That is the way that we need to do. Underscore id I'm giving employee id, and then underscore name, and then underscore name is also there. Let's take salary as double type, employee double underscore salary, underscore salary. Like this we have three data members, id, name and salary, three variables. Okay, so now I need to create a constructor which is initializing these three data members. How to create a constructor? With a shortcut key. Anybody, do you remember Uma or Prashant any shortcut key in order to create a constructor in Visual Studio? Just we need to type ctor, press
Ah,
tab,
yes.
you will get a constructor. CTOR is a shortcut for constructor. So now what we are doing, we are initializing members here. Since it is default constructor, underscore id is equal to something like 0 I'm giving because it is an integer variable. Underscore name is equal to null, or string.empty is also okay guys. You can give that as well, string.empty, so that it is giving suggestion for us. Or you can give null also here guys. Null also fine. Or null underscore name equals to null, like this you can give either this or that. And then salary is equal to 0 or 0 0.0, nothing but 0 0.0 is 0, right? So this is called as default constructor. So what we have defined is nothing but default constructor, also known as parameterless constructor, because we don't have any parameters inside it. Now we are defining a second constructor which is having some parameters guys. Okay, so again ctor I'm saying constructor is ready, but this time see, if you keep the same number of parameters you'll get an error exception here. What it is showing, employee already defines a member called employee, so already we have a constructor, it is showing error. So that is why we should give some parameters here. What I'm saying, integer uh, eid I'm giving employee id, and string e name something like this I'm giving, and double salary or sal I'm saying. So now you need to store this EID value in underscore ID. Ask your mom. అది క్లాస్ రికార్డింగ్ జరుగుతుంది సిరి. సిగ్నల్ రాదు డోర్ వేస్తే. ఓపెన్ ద డోర్. ఓకే, యా గైస్ విల్ కంటిన్యూ నౌ. So EID is temporary variable parameter, ename and sal. These three I need to initialize to ID underscore name and salary. So how do we do that? Underscore ID is equal to EID. Okay, so that I'm storing this EID value which is passed by user into our member variable called underscore ID. Same way underscore name equals to ename, and underscore what is that, salary equal to sal. So here it is giving suggestions anyhow, that's fine. And underscore salary equal to sal. So this is the way to initialize a parameter construct. Okay, and then so we have this is called parameterized constructor, or also called as, we can also call it as constructor with parameters. Okay, yeah. So this is constructor without parameters, which is said to be a default constructor, and this one is a constructor without, so with parameters, also known as parameterized constructor. Okay, so now we are writing a method called display, public void display. So this method is going to display the details, like I'm going to display id, I said employee id, so plus underscore id, I'm going to display id here. Second one is I'm displaying the name, console.writeLine name of the employee, So name is underscore name, and then console dot write line salary. Okay, so like this I'm displaying the three parameters. I displayed all the three member variables on the screen with the help of display method. So what I'm going to do is, just I'm creating two objects now in order to call the two constructors. Okay, so let's switch to our main method, main class, which is in program.cs. Here I'm going to create object of the two objects of employee classes. Employee emp1 is equal to emp1 itself, nothing but first object of the employee. Here I'm not passing any arguments, guys. So automatically it will call the default constructor. Okay, let's see this how it is working. emp1 dot display. So we are creating an object here in the first line, and the second line is calling the display method. So let's run it and see, guys. Just it will display 0 for employee ID and empty string means nothing, null for the name of the employee, and salary is 0 because it is calling default constructor. Coming to the second constructor, second object I'm going to create is like employee emp2 is equal to new employee. Second object I'm creating for the same class, but this time here I'm passing some parameters like 1001 is the employee ID, name I'm giving as Prashant, and then salary I'm giving as 40,000. Okay, like this I have created an object emp2 which is having some parameters. So now what I'm saying is emp2 dot display. So when you call this display method from emp2 object, it should display these details because I have forwarded or initialized the object with the values through the constructor. So here we are calling parameterized constructor. Here we are calling default constructor. Okay, so calling default constructor, and here what are we doing? Calling parameterized constructor. Okay, so let's see this output, guys, and for better appearance just I'm giving a new line here so that we'll get a line space between one object to another. Yeah, now you can see, guys. So the first object given 0 null 0, second object is giving us the values like 1001 Prashant and 40,000. So this is the way to work with the constructors. Two types of constructors. One is default constructor, the second one is parameterized constructor. Okay, so here I'm going to tell you a small topic, guys. So let's copy paste the code first. So first I'm copying this employee.cs, working with default and parameterized constructors. That is the example. Okay, so first example is employee.cs. That is the file we have created in which we have a class called employee and in which we have two constructors, default constructor and parameterized. Okay, yeah. So and the second one is program.cs in which we have main method, program class. Let's copy this and paste it. So we are done with this example, guys, but a small change, small thing I'm explaining you now in the same program. So like there is a keyword called this keyword. So what is the purpose of this keyword in C#? Okay, sometimes in interview they'll ask you what is the purpose of this keyword. So what is use of this keyword means, it is used to, this keyword is used to refer member variables or data members when we have same name for both member variables and local variables. So that is the point here, this keyword. Okay, of course we did not use this keyword, now we are going to use it. So let's go back to the example employee.cs. Here see the parameter names, guys. What is the parameter name? Like here eid is the parameter name. and ename is the parameter name and sal or parameter name for salary. Okay, but what are the member variables names? Underscore id, underscore name, and underscore salary. Now the question is, what happens if we have same names here? Suppose if I write underscore id here, here also I'm giving underscore what do you call, name here, and here also we have underscore salary. So if you keep same names for both local variables, these are local variables actually. These three are local variables. These three underscore id, underscore name, these are all member variables. Then how do you pass values from here to here? See guys, whenever I give same name in both the places, like can I write id underscore id, underscore id equal to underscore id, underscore name equal to underscore name? We can't like write like that, but still we are writing guys for the sake of testing. See what happens if I write like this. See guys, actually there is no error, but it is showing a warning here. So what it is saying, assignment made to same variable. So what it means, we are not passing this value from, I mean, local variable value to the member variable value. So what is happening here? Whenever we say underscore id here, it will always refer to the local variable, not to the member variable. So in order to refer to the member variable, we have to use this keyword. So how should I use? This dot id is equal to id. So what is meant by this dot id? Member variable. This variable is referred as this dot id. This variable is called as this dot underscore name, this dot underscore salary. Like that we need to write. So let's replace the remaining things also. This dot underscore name equal to name, and this dot salary equal to salary. Now there is no warning at all. It's perfectly working, guys. So let's run it. Output will be same, guys. Whether we use this keyword or without using this keyword, output will be same. But what's happening here? The variable names should be same. I mean, whenever the variable names are same for both the local variables and member variables, then we have to use this keyword. Okay, so let's run it and see. We'll get the same output as expected. As we have seen in the previous program, same output will come. Okay, the output won't be changed. But if you don't write this keyword there, what happens? Let us see, guys. I did not write this keyword. Let me remove this keyword here. You will not get any errors. You will get only warning. But the output you need to observe, guys. If I don't write this keyword, what happens? Since we are initializing local variable value to local, you will get only default values for the second object also. 0, empty, 0. See guys, this is the difference. So we are unable to initialize the member variables of the class due to lack of this keyword. Why? Because the names of member variables and local variables are same. So that is why we have to use this keyword. This dot id is equal to id, this dot name equals to name, and this dot salary equal to salary. So this is the way we need to write. Okay. So in interviews, they might be asking you guys, what is the purpose of this keyword? When do we use it? So whenever we have same name for both member variables and local variables, then we use this keyword. Okay. So this constructor you need to remember while working with this keyword. So I mean, let me copy the whole code here. I'm just copying the employee.cs, guys, instead of copying the whole program. So employee.cs, only this file I'm giving you. So this is all about this keyword usage. Okay. So this is the formality, guys. In most of the development, people will use these names only. Whatever names they have given here for member variables, same names will be used inside the constructor. So obviously they have to use this keyword. So please remember this, guys. They will follow only this style, not our first model. In first model, I gave some other names like EID, ename, sal, like that. So this kind of model won't be used by real-time applications. All developers will follow this keyword only, guys. That's why they'll ask you in interview, do you know this keyword? How do we use it? When do we use it? What happens if I don't use this keyword? Like that they'll ask you in interview, guys. Be prepared for it. Okay. So let's go to the next example where we are talking about constructors only. that is constructor overloading. We are talking about a concept called constructor overloading. So actually here we have how many constructors are there in this class right now? Guys, please respond. How many constructors are there?
3.
Look at this code. How many constructors are there in this program? Class employee is the class name in which we have how many constructors? Prashant and Uma.
Default constructor, parameterized constructor.
How many constructors? My question is how many? One or two or three? Guys, there are two constructors now. You're able to see. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
This is one constructor called default constructor, and this is called second constructor. There are only two constructors, right? Uma, are you listening? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So there are only two constructors. Okay, first constructor is default, second one is parameters. Two constructors. So like this, if you write more than one constructors in a class, that is called constructor overloading. So that is what we are talking now. So we are talking about constructor overloading. Okay. So what is constructor overloading? So defining two or more constructors is called as, okay, defining two or more constructors. Of course, more constructors in a class is called constructor overload. So already we have two constructors in the previous class, so that is also comes under constructor overloading. Now this time I'm writing three constructors. Okay, so we are going to write three constructors. So let's take a class called myDate. Let's switch to Visual Studio. Create a new project. Go to file, close solution. Let me close this current project and we are creating a new project. So oops underscore demo 10 I am giving. So select console app.NET framework, oops underscore demo 10. So creating a new project, click on create. So now let's create a new class I'm adding, guys. I'm going to this project solution explorer, add a new class, add class name I'm giving as like my date. Just I'm taking date example, guys. My date of transaction I'm taking as an example, my date, in which I'm taking like integer what you call date. I'm taking dd for date, and then month yy. So I took three member variables as date, month, and year. Dd for date, for month, and yy for year. So what I'm doing is I'm writing a constructor CTO shortcut. Just tab, my date is coming. So dd is equal to 0, equals to 0, and yy equals 0. So 0/0/0 like that I want to display for no date transaction. If any transaction is happened but I forgot to give the date, then I want to give 0/0/0 like that I want to give. Okay, that is set to be default date. So coming to the next constructor I'm writing, in which I'm taking some parameters. So this time I'm taking again dd yy, but so user will give okay, instead of 0/0/0, let's give some default date like 1/1/2024. This is the default date I wanted to show, guys. If anyone is calling without any date, I wanted to show 1/1/2024. Okay, 1/1/2024 I wanted to display for no transaction date. Second one is if user is passing some date and month, like I'm taking dd is already there, right? dd so I'm using same names here, dd. So second situation is user is passing all the three date, month, and year. So I'm taking dd mm yy. Okay. So then how should I write here? So here dd mm here also dd mm. Then what should I write, guys? Can I write dd is equal to dd or anything else? Can I write like this? Or any changes?
Using this keyword.
Very good. We have to use this keyword. This dot dd is equal to dd. This is the way to write. Same way I need to write for mm. This dot equals to and this dot equals to That's it. So this is the way I have initialized where the user is passing all the three parameters, date, month and year together. Okay. Third scenario, I'm writing another constructor. So here user is passing only date and month. Year is not passed by user. So user is passing date, month. He is not passing year, but I have to pass current year 2024. So what should I do? So this dot dd is equal to dd. This is okay, and this dot equals okay. But coming to yy is concerned, you can write this dot yy also or only yy because we don't have the yy here. I need to pass to 2024. I need to pass like this. Okay. So this is one way, or you can also get it from the system itself automatically. So that is date time dot now dot year, like that you can write it, guys. Okay, instead of this you can also write it date time dot now means current year. So what is the current year? 2024. Suppose if you run this program in the next year, you will get 2025 automatically. That is the advantage of writing this. Or else you can write 2024 directly. Okay. So now we are writing another method called a display method or display date or show date. You can write your wish, guys. So I'm saying that it as display date. So where I'm displaying date, month, date is first I'm giving dd. Beside that I want to give a slash. So then I want to display month. Then I want to give slash. Beside that I want to give year. Okay. Done. My method is ready. Display date or show date. You can write like that. Okay. So we have three constructors now. So this is said to be the example of constructor overloading, because we have defined how many constructors? Three constructors. So we have three data members called dd mmyy. First default constructor is showing 1/1/2024. Second constructor we can pass, we should pass three parameters. Third constructor is having only two parameters. So if you pass date and month, it will give you automatically year. That is the power of the third constructor. So user is having flexibility to pass different ways. Okay, let's switch to program.class program.cs. Here I'm creating three objects. My date m1 is equal to new my date. First object I have created, in which I'm not passing any what do you call parameters. So if I don't pass any parameters, it will call the default constructor. So let's call the method my m1 dot display date. It will display default date now. Default date means 1/1/2024. Let's see the output, guys. You will see only 1/1/2024 because it is calling the default constructor. Okay, or you can give 0/0/0. It's your wish, guys, but I gave this default date 1/1/2024. The second object I'm creating, this time I'm trying to pass the three parameters. My date m2 is equal to new my date, but here I'm giving all the three dates. Like I'm giving a 15 8 1947, like that I'm giving, so that it will display the three date and month and year together. m2 dot display date. Let's run it and see, guys. So let's give a new line here to get space between one line to another. Let's run it and see, guys. Yeah, so we are going to get two dates. First one is with the default constructor 1/1/2024. Second one is I have passed the three dates like date, month and year, all the three parameters like 15th August 1947. Perfect. But the third scenario, I'm going to pass only date and month with the third object. Okay. So the first one is calling default constructor. So here I'm calling a constructor with three parameters, and here third one I'm calling constructor with two parameters. So how do we do that? So let's create another object. My date m3 is equal to new my date. Here I'm passing just only today's date, like 22 and 4 I'm giving, that's it. I'm not giving 2024, but I'm expecting 22 for 2024. Is it possible? Let's check it out. M3 dot display date. So the constructor is taking only two parameters, but I'm expecting 2024 also. Let's see this, guys. You can see the output now. See, guys, perfectly coming. So 22 4 only I passed, but I'm getting 22 4 2024 perfectly coming. This is coming from where? Constructor with two parameter. This is constructor with three parameter. This is the default constructor. So that is the way I am able to achieve constructor overloading. Guys, is it clear? So there are three constructors in my class. The first constructor is without any parameters or parameterless constructor. Second constructor is with three parameters. Third constructor with two parameters. So if you write many constructors in a class, this comes under constructor overloading. Okay. So yeah. So here you can find three constructors. My date without any parameters, my date with three parameters, my date with two parameters. So like this we can achieve constructor overloading. So this is mydate.cs, and program.cs is common anyhow, guys. So any questions, guys? This is program.cs, program.cs. So tomorrow session we'll discuss something called copy constructor. We'll discuss all these things in the next session. Okay.